Hello everyone, welcome to YouTube channel Fazza Official Poems. So don't miss any important update. Watch till the end. The desert wind carried whispers that evening, soft and golden like the fading sun over Dubai. The sky was painted in shades of amber and rose, and the silence of the dunes felt like a secret waiting to be told. In the heart of this beauty, a story began, not loud, not dramatic, but deep, quiet, and unforgettable. My mom saw your picture, and what she said changed everything. Those words echoed in my mind again and again, like a melody I couldn't escape. I remember the first time I saw her. It was not in a crowded place, not in a moment of noise or celebration, but in a simple photograph, a picture that held more than just an image. It held a feeling. Her eyes carried calmness like the sea before sunrise. Her smile was not loud, not forced, but gentle, the kind that reaches the heart without asking permission. I didn't know her story, I didn't know her voice, but somehow I felt like I knew her soul. Days passed, yet her picture stayed with me, not just in my phone, but in my thoughts, in my quiet moments, in the spaces between my breaths. One evening, as I sat with my mother under the soft glow of our home lights, I showed her that picture. She looked at it carefully, not for a second, not for a minute, but with the kind of attention only a mother gives, the kind that sees beyond beauty, beyond appearance, beyond the surface. Her silence made my heart race. Then she smiled, and in that smile there was something different. She said softly, "This girl, she carries peace in her face." Her words were simple, but they felt powerful. She looks like someone who would stand beside you, not behind you. Someone who would understand your silence, not just your words. I didn't speak, because in that moment I realized something had changed. My mother, who always saw the world with wisdom, had seen something I couldn't explain, something deeper than attraction, something beyond a simple picture. That night, sleep didn't come easily. The stars outside my window felt closer than usual. The moonlight seemed softer, like it was part of this story too. I kept thinking, what if this is not just a coincidence? What if this is something written long before I even knew her name? The next morning, Dubai woke up with its usual rhythm, fast, bright, unstoppable. But inside me, everything felt calm, different. I began to imagine a future, not a perfect one, not a fantasy, but a real one, filled with small moments. Walking beside her under city lights, sharing quiet tea in the evening, laughing at things that don't even make sense, understanding each other without needing to explain. Days turned into nights and nights, into dreams, and in every dream she was there, not as a stranger anymore, but as someone who belonged. I gathered courage, not the loud kind, but the silent, steady kind. The kind that tells you if something feels right, don't let it fade. I reached out, not with big promises, not with dramatic words, but with honesty, because sometimes the simplest words carry the deepest meaning. When she replied, it wasn't a long message, but it was enough to make my heart pause and then beat faster than ever. Her words were gentle, respectful, and real, just like her picture. And slowly, conversation turned into connection. Connection turned into understanding, and understanding turned into something beautiful. We didn't rush, we didn't force anything. We let time do its work, because real feelings, I don't need speed, they need truth. One evening, I told her what my mother had said. There was silence for a moment. Then she replied, that is the most beautiful thing anyone has ever said about me. And in that moment, I knew this was not just a story. This was something rare, something pure, something meant to be. The desert winds still whisper at night. The city still shines like a dream, but now everything feels different, because somewhere in this vast world, two hearts found each other, not through noise, not through chance alone, but through something deeper, through a picture, through a mother's words, through a feeling that refused to fade. My mom saw your picture, and what she said changed everything. And maybe, just maybe, it was the beginning of forever. If you want, I can also
of Grace, a poet of the soul, a man whose words carried both fire and tenderness, but beyond the titles, beyond the royal life, there was a heart searching, and she was not known to the world, not yet. It was an evening painted in shades of amber and rose. The sun was slowly dissolving into the horizon, leaving behind a sky that looked like a poem written by the heavens themselves. Hamdan stood alone, his falcon resting on his arm, his eyes lost somewhere far beyond the visible world. He often escaped into the desert, not because he needed solitude, but because solitude understood him. In silence, he found truth. In nature, he found himself. And on that evening, he found her. She was standing at a distance, her silhouette softened by the golden light. The wind played gently with her scarf, as if even the breeze was curious about presence. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't lost. She simply belonged there, as if the desert had been waiting for her. Hamdan noticed her, not with surprise, but with recognition, a strange, quiet recognition, as if his soul had whispered, "There she is." Their first meeting had no dramatic beginning, no loud words, no sudden sparks, just silence and understanding. "You're not from here," Hamdan said, his voice calm, yet filled with curiosity. She smiled softly, like a secret, "And yet I feel like I've always been here." There was something in her voice, something rare, not just beauty but depth, not just words but meaning. Hamdan had met countless people, royal gatherings, global leaders, admirers from every corner of the world. But this moment, this was different. Days passed, but the desert remembered them, and they kept returning. Sometimes they spoke, sometimes they didn't, but every moment felt complete. She never asked about his title, and he never needed to explain who he was, because in her eyes he wasn't a prince, he was simply a man. And in his presence she wasn't just a stranger, she was home. Hamdan began to write again, not for the world, not for fame, but for her. Every word he wrote carried her essence. Every poem became a reflection of what he felt but couldn't fully say. Not every smile is real, not every tear is pure, but in your eyes I see a truth that forever will endure. He never showed her the poems, but she felt them one evening beneath a sky filled with stars brighter than dreams. She asked him something unexpected. "Do you believe in destiny?" Hamdan looked up at the sky, then back at her. "I believe some souls are written long before they meet." She didn't respond, but her silence said everything. Love didn't come rushing into their lives. It didn't explode like a storm. It grew slowly, silently, beautifully, like a desert flower that blooms only for those who are patient enough to wait. But not every story is untouched by reality, and not every love is free from the weight of